Welcome to the third day of my life video. Today we're going to be speaking on bullying. But before we go on, I have to send out the link, and then I'll be back. So just give me a moment. Okay, still on 35. Okay, it's rolling now. Network is a little bit fuzzy today, but I just hope that we can get something done. Alright? Now, as I was saying before, bullying has been something, bullying has been on my mind for a while to like speak about it because it's going, rampant. It's becoming rampant in, Nigeria as at right now. Bullying is becoming rampant. I used to think that it was just a thing of, white people and stuff because I see a lot in their movies, but a lot has been happening these days. And personally, I feel like as adults we could actually add to why the people are coming after us becomes a bully or is bullied in school, right? Parents and families most of the times play a huge role as to the reason why a child could become a bully, because I don't see any reason why a child would come from a good home and want to bully someone. It's because of trauma or one thing or the other. But first of all, let me give you like the full rundown of what bullying actually is, right? So bullying is using force against someone's will. It's coercion, it's intimidation, it's dominance, it's abuse, right? It's a whole lot of things. And when they say coercion, I have some things I wrote down. Then it's also hurtful teasing and threats. If you have a question or if you want to add to what I'm saying, please put it in the comment box or the live chat, and we'll get into it. So, like I said, hurtful teasing. What is hurtful teasing? Hurtful teasing is when you're using maybe when you use something against someone and tease them consistently about it. Maybe how they look, who their parents are, what they do. And I've seen in movies where people would tease a child because his mom works in maybe a beer parlor, and they take people who work in beer parlors as maybe prostitutes that sleep around with men, or maybe something about someone's external futures, and then you're teasing this person hurtfully, and then it happens over time. It's not just once, every day, all day. They are doing it to provoke the person and just get a reaction or make the person feel a certain type of way, right? So the next one is coercion, forcing someone to do something against the person's will. So like I said earlier, bullying is forcing someone to do something against their will. It's hurtful teasing, intimidation, dominance, coercion. It's a lot of things. And what makes it so bad is the fact that it happens consistently. It happens like every single day. So coercion is, for example, when a child is being forced to you know let's say in secondary schools, right? I've seen that one happen and I've heard it happen where, and people even play about it. Sometimes after we graduate from secondary school and then they start speaking about it, they joke about it. But to someone at the time, it was a very, very big deal and it wasn't even funny. So it's like sending a child to go buy something for you with their own money, and you are forcing them, right? And I also said that bullying is threat. So now it goes beyond just threatening the person that, oh, if you don't buy this thing with your own money, I'm going to punish you for the whole semester. They actually go ahead and punish you because you do not have money to buy something that they wanted. It's so crazy because seniors or people that are older are supposed to be the ones maybe assisting or helping a younger student. But then in secondary schools, which is where bullying occurs a lot, the junior ones are the ones that have to spend their money or spend their provisions just because the seniors want to just play around, because most times they are playing around, but then it turns into something else. They tend to enjoy what they do and then they overdo it. You're not even supposed to do it at all, right? Then the next one I said was abuse. So you see people who abuse someone younger than them, or and bully is not just in secondary schools, right, or for the younger ones. But I'm more particular about the younger ones because most people that are bullies at old age or middle age, in their 30s or late 20s, it all started from when they were small. And in this case, charity begins at home. It's always something from the house, from where they're coming from the family that they grew up in. It's always something related to their family. It doesn't just start all of a sudden. It's usually deep rooted, right? So back to back to abuse. So when you consistently treat somebody unfairly with your words or with your actions, and the words part is just crazy because you insult someone consistently, you don't even need to touch them, but you are harming them. And the psychological effect of bullying is just huge. It never really goes away. Like someone who has been bullied before never actually forgets that they were bullied. And what makes it so sad is that at the end of the day, they don't even end up getting the help that they deserve. They end up not getting the help that they deserve. And especially in a country like Nigeria, that people going to therapy is not a thing. I saw a tweet and someone said that he opened a friend of his or someone that he knows opened a therapy a what they call it, an office, for people to come in and get treated and whatever. But then people were now asking him for money. He even fought with one of his clients, and that's supposedly supposed to be, oh, come for therapy and get better. That the business wasn't doing well, basically. And then the person said, of course, that can't do well in Nigeria because of our setting. If you feel bad, if you want therapy, go to the club, go to the church, go to somewhere. There's something else to help you other than seeing a therapist or a psychologist. So you see why it's just very weird in Nigeria because parents won't even take their children for therapy, or they don't even know what to do, right? So now, I also mentioned dominating someone. When you want to dominate someone against their will, basically, there are some people who normally it is just in their personality to dominate. They don't need to forcefully do anything. People just want to follow what they say, listen to what they have to say, and that's that. But there are some people that have to do it forcefully. They have to force themselves on you and get you to do what they want or follow their own will. What you have to say doesn't even matter. All they want to do is to control you, and it's just crazy. So that's that. Then now let's get into the reason of why do people bully, right? Why do people end up bullying? Now, like I said earlier, most people who are bullies don't come from wonderful homes, and it's really began because of something. It's either they've been bullied before and they feel like the only way for me to get out of this situation, or the only way for me to get my own revenge on the world, is for me to bully others. Now, the way so if you are a parent, the way you treat your children growing up really matters a lot. It's not every time that they do something wrong that you shout on them and you beat them. That happens so much. You see people, children living in so much fear because any little thing that they do would result in a very serious beating. At this point, this beating is not just the normal, scolding. It has turned to abuse. So when you see that a child is consistently being abused, there's no way in hell that they are, going to turn out to be great people. They would now exercise that same thing on another person. They'll feel like, okay, if you do something wrong to me, then I have to also beat you, right? I've seen a movie where it happens, and he just does it to everybody around him, and that's because where he's coming from, if he does something wrong, he just immediately goes and kneels down because they will give him like 10 lashes with belts. So when someone does the same thing to him in school, he feels like, oh, I have to punish you too because this is what I know, right? And even when he, got much older and entered into a relationship, all the girls he has been with, that's the way he treats, that's the way he just treats them. You've done something wrong, then I have to believe you. You come back late, not bully you, come back late, then I have to beat you. And why his own case is even severe is because to him, this is the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. This is what my father did to me all the while I was growing up. So you see that it always starts from home, and you consistently abuse your children with their words, or abuse your younger sibling, you get. And then maybe an uncle or auntie, did something over time. That's why when we're living with people when we're living with extended families, as a parent, you should be very careful. Even if you have a younger one, you should be very careful how the people around them are treating them. Your attention, it should not be divided. You should always try to make sure that they are okay, and because something might be happening behind the scenes and you don't even know, and then it just becomes a vicious cycle of, do you know what, they've done this thing to me, I will do it to somebody else, and then that someone else will do it to someone else, and then nobody actually really, it never really gets fixed, which is like crazy, which is really bad, right? Right. So So if we have to, like, so for every video that I do, I always want to like go to the Bible, because that's like where, everything you need is in the Bible. Trust me. Every single thing that you need, any situation that you're in, you want to find out how to go about it, go to the Bible. Okay? Now, Luke 6:31 says, do unto others as you want them to do unto you. Now, people who bully other people, the thing they fear the most is getting that same treatment. Most times, when they get that same treatment, they don't even know how to act. They are so shocked. They start begging and crying. But all the while that they've been bullying another, they were probably also begging them, crying, like trying to understand why you're doing this thing to me. They don't care. They want to exercise their dominance on the person, and they feel like this is the best way to do it because maybe someone in the past has treated them this exact same way. So they hate it so much. So if you do not like something, if you dislike something, why, like, are you doing it to somebody else? This is the golden rule for a reason, because just as you want to be treated, treat someone else. So if you are bullying someone else, then that means you also want to be bullied. And when it starts happening to you, there's no need for you to beg or cry or whatever. Just allow it, because that's what you've been doing. But some people don't even understand the gravity of what they are doing. They actually don't, and that's just one of the saddest part about it, because things that I've seen happen in secondary schools, and I checked the ages of when I just had to sit down one time, and I was like, we were really young, like very young. How many years? Maybe, how many years are we at that? Let's say JSS one, like junior secondary school one. That's like 10 years, 11 years, and then so 12 years to 13, 3, 14. Senior secondary school one. So at 14, 15, you're already inflicting so much pain to someone else. So they don't even understand this thing. So you, as someone who is older, the people around you, you should teach them. You should let them know. You should let them understand what they are doing, because most times they don't understand it. They don't. And like I said, there's bullying everywhere in the workplace, and it happens all over the place. But why the younger ones, especially those in secondary school, high school, is very particular to me, is because if you can actually stop majority of it from high school, then you've taken care of like a whole generation. Trust me. So now, how do we tackle this thing about bullying? How do we tackle it? So right, the attention we give to the people that are coming after us are very important, and it mustn't be your sibling or your child for you to care for someone that is younger. If you see any sign of bullying or abuse, you just have to find a way to help this person. Talk to whomever is inflicting that pain. Do something about it. Speak up. Don't just let it go. Don't just let it go, because it doesn't end with the child. It affects them, like the effects of this bullying is a lot. The psychological effect is a lot. Most times, people don't know how to act after they've been bullied for a really long while. When they go into the world, they don't want to make friends. They become loners. They don't know how to interact with society because of what has happened to them. And then they don't want people coming close to them because they feel like they are just going to, treat them like that. And then some people start feeling like, oh, I'm the bad person here, it's my fault. Like, they start thinking that it's their fault for being bullied. And that's so sad because no one should feel like it's their fault that they are weak. And then some people think, oh, because I was weak, I was bullied, so now I have to be strong. And then, make sure that no one does it to me. But instead of making sure, or maybe fighting back or having the strength to like fight back, they don't just fight back. They now go ahead to like bully just anybody that they feel like, okay, this person is weak. I was weak, so they bullied me. So this person is weak, so this person is to be bullied. So you see why it is just so bad, because it can mess up someone's mentality. It messes up the person's thought process. It just takes a whole lot. So how parents can, if you know someone that's been bullied over time, you should speak to the person, because one, people who have been bullied most times have this very, sometimes they have a very weak personality. Their personality is not so strong. That's why they are easily, bullied and all. And then you should help them realize that they are not the bad person here, they are not weak, that they are strong. This is just who, they are. Just find a way to speak to their emotions and make them feel like it is not their fault, because bullying diminishes what remains of their personality. They don't already have a strong personality, and when they get bullied, it just diminishes it. It just takes it down the drain, right? So they need care, they need attention, they need reassurance, consistent reassurance, because when they were bullied, they need consistent attention, consistent reassurance, consistent care. They need someone who consistently speak to them and convince them that, look, it is not going to be this way forever. You are not who you think you are, and that way you can reform their mindsets. Because them being bullied for a long while has really changed a lot of things. So we should pay attention to our younger ones. We should pay attention to, our children. And if your children is the bully, they also need help. One who is a bully, to be fair, I feel like they should be withdrawn from school ASAP, instantly. If you know that your sibling, your child, or someone is a